Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We continue our working day, and now I give the floor to Presidential Administration spokesman on ATO-related issues, Colonel Andriy Lysenko. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, and now information on events in ATO area during last 24 hours. In Lugansk area, the enemy violated ceasefire once. It happened in Stanitsa Luganskaya. In Donetsk area, the situation remains the same. During the day, active military actions were in Zaitsevo, Avdiivka, and at two positions on the perimeter of Donetsk airport near Opetne and Putilivska mine, that is known as Butivka Donetska mine. The militants increased the shellings of mortar fire, and during the last 24 hours they launched about 100 mines, and they sporadically use APCs. On the whole, in Donetsk area, 15 enemy shellings were observed, and 12 of them with the use of mortars. In Mariupol area, the situation is calmer. Yesterday there were 14 enemy shellings, including 6 mortar shellings. The enemy violates ceasefire on the front line, and the biggest number of shelling is observed in Krasnogorovsk, the Kuchaevsk, and Shirokino. According to the information of Chief Intelligence Department of MOD yesterday, they fixed 9 flights of air drones of the enemy along the front line. It was established that one of air drones was launched from the territory of Russian Federation, and from the start of May, the enemy organized 91 flights of air drones, from which 59 during the last week. It shows that they increase reconnaissance activities of our positions. Today in the morning, the militants brought down air drone of the OECE. It happened in the south and west suburbs of Gorlovka. And we remind that interference in the work of OECE is a grave violation of Provision 3 of Minsk agreements. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed, but 14 servicemen were wounded. It happened in the course of enemy shellings in Donetsk area, and also when 1 hour RPC Better 80 struck a mine near Starognativka. Losses of the enemy: 4 killed, 11 wounded. So these were the militants of 3 units of DPR. Ukrainian law enforcers blocked the channels of weapon smuggling from ATO area. These days, in Kharkiv region, SBU officers together with police detained the leader of the group while he tried to sell about 1,000 cartridges to Kalashnikov gun and RGD grenades.
This criminal group consisted of 3 residents of Izum district, Kharkiv region. During searches in their flat, the law enforcement officers seized firearms and ammunition. Military law enforcers are trained by counterparts from the military forces of Canada. Today, they graduate the course of pretrial investigation. The group of law enforcement officers consists of 20 persons. This is the first team of Ukrainian military men who upgraded their professional skills. They trained in examination of place of crime, studied gathering of evidence, worked as forensics expert, and mastered the skills of interrogating suspects and witnesses, accompanied with video and photo registration of evidence. In Mariupol, military combat readiness of Azov squad of the National Guard of Ukraine was checked. The military men were tested, and After the inspection, the troops returned to the locations of their dislocation. In Vinnytsia, National Guard demonstrated the acquired skills during controlled testing. Most of law enforcement officers demonstrated excellent and good results during testing. Anna Grishina, TV channel Ukraine. Could you tell us about the case near Starognativka where Ukrainian soldiers tripped mine? We don't know still details. It was an explosion. The soldiers were wounded and received first medical aid at once. All of them are alive, but in different medical condition. We think that this is the case of subversive activities of the enemy. However, we have not had yet